Feeding some hungry butts. Yeah,
That guy needs to stay in California and go somewhere and chew on bark.
The NFL season is 99 days away. I got 99 bills, but Bosa ain't one. Sorry. Please don't unsubscribe. I am a little worried about how things are currently shaping up for the Buffalo Bills, the Bengals, and the Steelers. Last offseason, when everyone was complaining about the loss of Stephon Diggs and the Bills' reluctance to properly replace him, I did not fret. I stated, look what the Chiefs did with the similar supporting cast of ball catchers. That said, I feel like I have more questions about the Bills heading into the 2025 season than I did last year. Off-season training programs started this week for most NFL teams, and the Bills already lost Joey Bosa to injury. James Cook's not at OTAs. It's not an official holdout, but he's not there. Aaron Rodgers still is not committed to the Steelers, and the Kirk Cousins to the Steelers rumors are gaining steam. The Bengals currently have both of their most important defensive players holding out. So today I, Brandon Perna, football whisperer, and known coffee peddler, will discuss why I'm worried about the aforementioned three teams here on That's Good Sports. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel. We crossed 750,000 subs. Thank you guys so much. And don't forget, it's never too early to start fucking the refs over at benchwarmershop.com, where you can pay to fuck the refs. Ooh, yeah. It's coffee. It's my coffee, in case you were wondering. The Steelers. Aaron Rodgers has not shown up for Steelers OTAs.
The fuck were you doing?
We could have all predicted that sentence to be true months ago. What's becoming increasingly concerning if you are a Steelers fan is that Aaron Rodgers still is not a Steeler. He's not at OTAs because he is not on the team.
the neurological conditions, and it's crazy.
I'm not suggesting Steelers fans even are hoping for Rodgers at this point, but let's be honest, the chances of being competitive this season are greater if Aaron Rodgers is on the roster.
Feeding some hungry butts. Yeah,
You just need Rodgers to say, yes, I am playing for the Steelers. And each passing day that doesn't happen, it looks less and less likely. Although he did hint that a certain team plays the Bears on the road this season.
Will Aaron Rodgers ever go to the Bears?
No, but I believe there's a team that might play in Chicago this year.
And while many people think that means the Steelers, don't rule out the Browns, who also play the Bears on the road this season. Look, my favorite thing about Aaron Rodgers is still the hypocrisy. He was at a live recording of the You Never Know podcast in Austin, and Rodgers said,
I love Chicago, though, way more than they love me. It's been a great relationship, all one way.
And then he said,
And what does every coach that signs at the Bears say? We got to beat the Packers, right?
Yeah.
Packers don't give a shit.
never change, Aaron. I love Chicago way more than they love me. Also, nobody gives a shit about the Bears. The people of Chicago should love me, and also fuck the people of Chicago. Yeah, that sounds exactly like the thing someone who leads an emotionally abusive relationship would say. What should be sounding the alarm bells for Steelers fans is that the longer Rodgers stays uncommitted, the stronger the Kirk Cousins to the Steelers scenario becomes a real possibility. Kirk Cousins did not show up for the Falcons OTAs. Maybe that's a sign he won't play for them this year. Serious question though for Steelers fans. Would you rather have Aaron Rodgers or Kirk Cousins on your roster this season? Let me know. Let me know below. And I get it. It's a real Sophie's choice. And I'm sure many of you would choose seppuku instead. This is what Terry Bradshaw said about Aaron Rodgers.
He needs to stay in California and go somewhere and chew on bark and whisper to the gods out there.
All right, Terry. So you're telling me you're not going to let Rodgers wear your retired number 12 as a Steeler? Also, I wish Terry was allowed to be this funny on TV.
You know, you walk in there and you get in his presence and you feel like it's going to start snowing.
You get in his presence and you feel like it's going to start snowing? That's gold, Terry! Gold! It seems like Terry's bigger point and the concern a lot of Steelers fans have is that Rodgers does not solve the Steelers' long-term problems. They keep trying to band-aid the QB position and eke out a winning record. Plus, if Rodgers was all in on the Steelers, he would have committed to them by now. Just providing that clarity would go a long way, even if he still skipped OTAs.
It would be a surprise if Aaron Rodgers is not in the Steelers right now. I'm not saying he's made a decision. I'm not saying retirement's ruled out, but it would be a surprise.
He's not even a Steeler, and it feels like he's already asking Steelers fans to appreciate him before he even arrives. Pittsburgh simply hasn't made a significant enough investment at quarterback since Big Ben retired. Sure, you got great value on Justin Fields and Russell Wilson last year. Let them both go. You're not the 2002 Oakland A's. You should be spending big money or draft picks to fix the most important position on your team. They don't catch enough heat for not having a succession plan post-Ben, aside from spending the 20th pick on the top quarterback in a historically bad QB class. And ever since then, they've been merely trying to get by at that position, and all the while, they've wasted the prime of their core defensive stars. Core defensive stars. Things the Bengals do not have. The only team in the NFL that could alienate their veteran pass rusher and their rookie pass rusher, who is their plan B if their veteran pass rusher does hold out, is the Cincinnati fucking Bengals. They're still bangling this one, guys. And again, I really wish there was a better word to describe this scenario, but there is not. They're bangling it. Trey Hendrickson still wants a new contract, and even though I disagree with the Bengals' unwillingness to pay him, I actually understand the complexities of that situation due to Hendrickson's age. What is concerning is that the Bengals are trying to add language to the rookie contract that Stewart and his agent do not want in it.
Which is a stupid thing to say.
Cincinnati drafted the edge rusher at pick 17. Rookie contracts, of course, are 90% boilerplate and 10% negotiable on bullshit like guarantees, offsets, and default clauses. Essentially stuff none of us should ever really care about. Shit so insignificant that the Bengals are the only team with the rookie opposed to what they're trying to add. For Stewart specifically, per Mike Florio, the Bengals want to include a phrase that causes a default in the current year to trigger a default in all remaining years, something that would essentially make it easier for the Bengals to cut him, okay? The problem is that the contract signed by last year's first-round pick tackle Amarius Mims does not include the language that the Bengals are now attempting to insert forcibly into Stewart's deal. And Mims was taken one spot lower in 2024 at 18 to Stewart 17. If Trey Hendrickson was happy, extended, or just, locked in to play for 2025, we might not be talking about Shemar Stewart's contract hiccup. Instead, a giant spotlight is now illuminating how stubborn and wrong the Bengals front office continues to be. There are a few first-round rookies who haven't signed their deals yet, but Stewart is the only one to refuse to sign because of a problem with the contract itself. Not only have the Bengals made a mountain out of a molehill, they're lying on top of that mountainous molehill and they are dry humping it, hoping nobody will notice. Oh God, Perna, why did you have to use dry humping as a metaphor? Because it's something that really brings pleasure to nobody, and both sides usually just walk away chafed. That's not a Bengals contract situation, I don't know what is.
Feeding some hungry butts.
Whatever this new language is that the Bengals want in their first-round rookie contracts, it's not worth it. Not right now. In very Bengals fashion, they are doing this at the worst possible time. What puzzles me is why they wouldn't just make this concession, knowing they're dug in against Trey Hendrickson. All this is doing with Stewart is setting up a scenario where he's going to be bitter in 4 to 5 years about how they treated him coming in, thus making him more likely to leave later. First impressions last a lifetime, and the Bengals have been making the wrong first impression for a lifetime. I think Brett Coleman nailed it when he tweeted, "Haggling over offset language that will be worth at most 1.4% of the salary cap by the time it's even potentially relevant, and only if they actually cut him during his rookie deal is so wild to me. They are a team that's much better at creating contract problems than solving them." Championship teams don't worry about this shit. Can you imagine Howie Roseman or Brett Veach trying to fuck over their rookies for some hypothetical bullshit that will probably never come to fruition? No, this is why poverty franchises stay poverty franchises. ESPN released their Football Power Index today, and there's such a massive gap between expectations versus reality when it comes to the Bengals. Despite missing the playoffs for 2 straight seasons, ESPN has them at a 60% chance to make it this year. The 4th best odds in the AFC. They had a 4% chance to win the Super Bowl, which are the 9th best odds in the entire NFL, according to ESPN. That feels cruel to Bengals fans. It also feels like they're teetering on complete collapse and should have the highest odds to fire their head coach by week 6. We need to give the Bengals their banner. Beat the Chiefs in the playoffs once, because I think they've been riding that wave for a little too long now. Finally, the Bills. What does being a little worried about the Bills even mean? A team with Josh Allen at quarterback alters expectations, right? And for me, my concern is that the things happening right now will make the Bills exactly the same as they have been the last several years. Very, very good, but not good enough to win or even get to the Super Bowl. Josh Allen is like a friend's very, very, very hot wife who also has a great sense of humor and personality. You know she's not yours, but if she asked you to ruin your marriage and your lifelong friendship, to be with her, you would. I'm a Broncos fan, but if Josh Allen proposed to me, I'd leave everything I've ever loved to be his number one.
He's a fun guy to banter with, because, like, you never know how far he's going to take it.
He's that good. He's that fun. And in general, I like what the Bills have done this offseason. Buffalo is returning 84.2% of their roster in 2025. That's the 3rd most, and generally a good sign. They are bringing back linebacker Terrell Bernard, Greg Rousseau, Khalil Shakir, all on 4-year deals, plus DeMar Hamlin, Dane Jackson, and Ty Johnson. Their approach this offseason has been very clear. Keep our own guys, which is why I don't love the James Cook holdout right now.
Really what this is does James Cook get a contract extension that he can be happy with before the season, or does he play out and face either the franchise tag the next year or become one of the top free agents for the entire NFL to then bid on his services?
I am mildly concerned, considering Cook accounted for 16 rushing touchdowns last season. You can look at this 2 ways. From Cook's POV, you say, if you're signing all of the guys you drafted to extensions, why not me? I was great for you last year, and that's fair. If you're the Bills, you say, you're asking for a lot of money based off of 1 year of insane touchdown production. But if you do it again, you know we'll take care of you. Cook had 16 rushing TDs, a couple receiving touchdowns last year, but it's an outlier year for his production so far as a Bill, and he has another year remaining on his rookie deal. And I never thought I'd say this, because I'm the number 1 running backs should be paid supporter. But if Cook wants $15 million per year like it's been suggested, he hasn't proven to be worth that. Not consistently.
He has come out and said he wants the $16 million per year. I don't know if he's going to get it.
He's essentially asking to hit that Saquon and King Henry contract range based on his touchdown production. But both of those players had over 2,000 scrimmage yards last season. That's like me asking for Pat McAfee money and then pointing to the 2 videos I've had that outperform him. Cook actually got fewer carries last season because Ty Johnson and Ray Davis provided varying degrees of upside when they were on the field. Ugh. Did that all with a beer-haired wiggling around in my mouth. That's how you know I'm a true fucking pro. Maybe I do deserve McAfee money. Look, I think Josh Allen and Ray Davis can actually replace many of those 16 touchdowns Cook got fairly easily. I think Cook will eventually play for the Bills this year. It's not just that he lacks leverage, it's that the history of running backs missing actual time due to a holdout really never pan out. This will ultimately benefit the Bills. Either Cook returns and he is motivated more than ever to get paid the following season. He rushes for like 1,400 yards and adds another double-digit touchdown season to his resume. Or in his absence, Ray Davis and Ty Johnson prove they deserve even more carries. Cook needs to provide Jahmyr Gibbs-type production, in my opinion, to get what he wants monetarily speaking, and I hope he does, but he has yet to show he is a Tier 1 back. A very good Tier 2 back, yes. The biggest concern, though, is Joey Bosa is already hurt with the calf injury. Bosa is expected to be ready to go by training camp, but it is certainly an ominous sign when the guy you just paid, whose biggest problem is injuries, is injured on the first day where he has to do anything remotely physical. Bosa was brought in to put the Bills' pass rush over the top, and the only thing he's going to put over the top are the team's medical expenses. The Bills' medical staff will learn very quickly that bringing Damar Hamlin back to life was a far easier task than keeping Joey Bosa healthy enough to play every Sunday. The Bills signed Bosa to be a more reliable Von Miller. Unfortunately, they're getting a less talented, more injury-prone Von Miller who also does not have the balls to take PEDs so he can heal and stay on the fucking field. Thanks for watching. That's Good Sports. Please subscribe here on YouTube. YouTube is the only thing that exists, and if you don't subscribe, you'll be gone forever.